Boy, if I knew what I was doing, I'd be dangerous, right? Anyway, turn on the torch, light up the flames, time to melt some glass, my friend. There you are. Wait. I'm pointing now at the right place. There you are. Here I am to explain, to teach, and create again. I just realized I've got a monitor behind my laptop, and that's why I was pointing up high instead of down low. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Oh, this might help as well, so that people can hear me better. Isn't that nice? Yeah, I think so. We'll see what we got also going on with the chat room. I'm gonna have to start one here real quick. YouTube and see if I'm on. It says I am. Melting Sunday. Sunday melting. There we go. So and pause that. People can hear me. 2 people are watching now. Wow, that's great. Can't wait. Okay, good. And if you have a suggestion or request that you'd like to see me make, just ask and I will see about what I can do. I'm glad that more people are catching on that I'm going to start doing this on a regular basis. And I even cleaned up my bench slightly, but not totally. Just name out something. Might help if I turn on at least one oxygen concentrator. There we go. Oh, and another thing that I'm going to do, we've got 3 people watching. Let me get at least 1 or 2 more. And over here is my annealing oven that I started last night, and I'll be able to pull out a whole bunch of stuff, that I did just the other day. Well, I don't think you can't quite see it on view. Darn. But it's right over where I'm pointing out of view. But that's okay. Now let me see if I can get this straightened so I can see me doing the demos and also the chat room. That's going to be the fun part. But I am going to get there. Yeah, here we go. There we go. I think I've got most of it, and I can see how many people are watching. That's a good thing, too. If I knew what I was doing, I would be dangerous, but not today, guys. Not today. Do we have a request? I can do a cat, a mouse, a swan, a bear, a whale, a snail, a unicorn, a dolphin. This is basically one of the things that I try to do every show, and I do several if people want it, to give you an idea of the vastness of my repertoire, I guess you could say. But it's still an ongoing thing. It's not what I can do now or what I can make. It's what you and I can create together a lot of times, too. In other words, I might do an owl for 20 people the same way, but when somebody else comes up and thinks about an owl and me working, I might come out with something totally different. Can you do one of your dragons? Amen to that. That can be arranged like real quick because, oh look, the torch is on now. Yeah, I can do a dragon. I'll even, I think I'll do it yellow and with green trim. And here we go. These are the 2 colors that I'll be using. This will be the trim on it, and this will be the actual color of the beast, as it were. And let's see what we got. Dog or jellyfish? A, I can do a dog, and B, I can do a jellyfish, and we can see what we can do there too. I've got time. We just started. I figure about an hour at most, maybe a little bit more than that, and we'll see what we can do in that time. The jellyfish is a little bit more complicated, but well worth the effort to try to do, as I say. Hold it a second. Got a fan blowing on me, but this one is one that from a different angle, so I can feel the cross breeze type deal on me. All in the matter of keeping cool at the torch, right? Right. Now, yes, I do not have my didymium lenses on, but I do have one right in front of, and you can see it right there in front of, on my heat shield at the moment. So that's just, I guess you could say, a way of me telling you that eye protection is important, guys. Hey, Samantha, good to see you show up. I'm glad that everybody's in the room and enjoying me doing my glass blowing thing. And again, I'm going to try to do this on a regular basis now, at least once a day, or at least 3 or 4 times a week at least. I might have a few days off. We all have to have a few days off, right? Right. Now, what I'm doing now is the neck, and it's basically the shape of a shark fin for the dragon. You know, that one's a little longer than my regular, well, no, it's not, because my dragons usually have long necks anyway. I guess you could almost say it's like a question mark as well. Now that's basically how I pull up the neck for the dragon, and then we add the head, which is an elongated ice cream cone, really, really pointed. If I do just an ice cream cone, it becomes more of a horse head. And just by changing the shape subtly, it becomes a dragon head instead of a horse head, as it were. Yes, it still looks like a horse or a duck head at the moment, quack, quack, but it'll get there. Now we'll add the 2 arms. And I don't know if I've got enough glass to do these 2 arms with it. Maybe I got another thing of this. Yeah, I do. I'll see what I can do here. Hold on. That's getting a little bit too short, and I guess I could pull some off this end, but let's see. No, that's not it. Let's try this one. Ooh, not it. Here we go. Yay! Found some. That's it. There we go. Coming up with the same colors with me because I encase so many of my colors is the fun part. Got 3 people watching. That's a good thing. I like that. Been getting a little bit more views lately, which is a good thing also. Thank you. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, click like, click subscribe, and all that good stuff. If you want to see somebody make some glass stuff, just talk to me and I'll see what I can do about making it. Again, if you have a project that you're working on and you're stumped about a shape or figurine and you need a little bit of help, I can try to help you with that as well. Just ask. If you don't ask, you don't get, basically. That's the way I look at it. Okay, green. No, wait, I said this, not that green. This green. This is the green I was going to use. And is that? No, it's just a very nice green. Here we go. We're going to trim this front part of this dragon out. There's one of his horns or ears or whatever you want to call that. I've been doing it basically the same way almost since the very times I started doing glass blowing. Even when I didn't know what I was doing. I like the Chinese style dragon better than the European style. You know, the real fat, mean, tufted beard, claws on paws or arms. You can talk to me while I work too. I will try to look up and see your questions and ask, you know, if you have a question while I'm working, feel free. Or at least feel like you have to pay me $150 or something like that. No, feel free. There we go. There's one eye. And the fun thing about putting the eyes on is that you got to make sure that they're across from each other on the head. You don't want one up above and one below, one sideways, one forward. And that does take time and practice. It doesn't come overnight, but it is a doable thing, I guess you could say. Here we go for the claws again. I usually only put 3, and sometimes only 2. Dragons I put about 3, I think. You know, the front 2 and then 1 to catch it with in the back. You know, if I did the royal dragon, I guess I could do 5 or 6, I think. 5 fingers, but I don't do that. That's the Asian dragon deal. There we go. Oh, that claw got a little bit too much. Let's see if we can melt that down a little bit and move it around. Yeah, slightly. Oh well, we'll live with it. Okay. Now we're going to work on the back half. Well, actually, we're going to do the wings to this thing now. And the first part of the wing is going to be the yellow, and the second part of the wing is going to be the green. Already look better than anything I can make. Well, practice, 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 and more practice is all it is. And you know, you get an idea. And also, you might want to consider trying to draw out your dragon on a piece of paper or pen, with you know, on a piece of paper first. And that gives you a direction to go in, the shapes that you want to make on your dragon. It doesn't have to come out exactly written in stone that way, as I say. Oops. I'll get that back. This is the first part of the dragon wing. I keep getting that front claw in the flame when I'm doing... Oh, I know what the problem is. This might help a little. I'm so used to... Sometimes I used to use just a single flame in the middle. With this Carlisle, it's easy to switch back and forth. But if you only got a single flame torch going on, or even a dual flame in the center type torch, this works out real well for this type of dragon. But again, drawing out your pictures, giving you a direction to go in, and again, that doesn't have to be written in stone. Once you're getting there and saying, hey, this is not what I was looking for, but you know what, not bad. That is what you're looking for, that serendipitous moment where 2 or 3 things come together, where you're trying and also melting and shaping and listening to your heart as you do it sometimes. I just realized I've got some... It's going to be a little bit brighter than what I'm used to. The sun is coming right in on my face in my new... where the way my house or my shed is situated. But I'm pretty sure I can compensate. And after this one, I will open up the kiln and show everybody what I've been doing. It looks like I've got about 5 people in the room. That's a good thing. Thank you for being there, guys. Holy cow. I need to get into a live room more often. I like this live video feed. Oh, I still haven't finished those wings. Never mind, I'll do that right now. Doing 3 things at once. Sometimes you get sidetracked. Now the outer part of these wings. Here we go. Wave it in. Front side and back side is what I'm going to do this. So like layer it in on both sides. One more of those. There we go. Here's one wing. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it. Dragons are my favorite out of all that I do. Front half. And the back half. Let's do this. Layer it in. One more. You'll find I do that. I count as I go what I'm doing. I guess you could call me the Sesame Street count. One more, two more. Yeah, right. That's part of my OCD. I may not look like I have OCD, but I do have some points of OCD. Counting here and there. Calculating here and there. Get those wings about where I want them. One's a little bit bigger than the other, so let's add a little bit more to the other one. Here we go. There we are. About even, not perfect, but pretty nice. Okay, now let's do the back half of this guy. But yeah, I do counting sometimes. I do a little bit of odd, you know. Many parts of my life came together with glass blowing. One of them is I do like to calculate a lot. I may not be a calculus whiz, but you know, you're driving down the road and you say, yeah, it'll take me another 15 minutes to get home from where I'm at. And that's calculating. And hey, I have to, you know, put another 2 or 3 pounds of this to that to make it work. That's calculating, and it's guesstimating a lot of times, but it's still counting. Okay. Now I'm going to sort of do the reverse of the neck on the back of this guy, but that's going to be the tail coming off the back end of it, like so. Swirling around. You got to turn it back and forth like I'm doing. You can't. It's a three-dimensional object. It helps to make it melt better. And there's that. Hey, it'll make a great Mother's Day gift for somebody who likes dragons. If anybody's interested, just get a hold of me. We can work that out. I could probably get it to you before Mother's Day. Ah, that sun is right in my eyes. I picked the wrong time to do this, didn't I? Maybe tomorrow I'll start doing it about 7 or 8, where the sun is a lot further down. It's just got to go around a tree shade here in just a short time. It'll be out of my way again, but now in this case, instead of doing the whole leg, I did a part of it back and then part of it forward is the way these legs go usually. Usually. There we go. That's one. And for some reason I just did half of that other leg, but I can go back and add to it. And I call that the L-bin leg. You see how it goes down and forward into the shape of an L? That's the L-bin type leg. And then I do an S-curve leg. That's what's going on here in the front is an S-curve. You can see it go in an S-type shape curve. That's what I do for those. Oh yeah, just when I need to make a good weld, that sun comes out and I can't see it. Almost there. All I got to do is these back claws and the tail. And this guy will be ready. I'll just put him in the oven after the fact. after I clean the oven out. I've got a lot of stuff to get out of there first. I've been storing it in there for a couple of days, and or not really doing or baking anything for the last couple of days until I finally got my kiln in here last night for the first time. Been a lazy cuss, I guess. Now, one of the things you can do when you're doing like dragons and horses or whatever you want with wings on them, or birds or whatever, you can make the wings ahead of time. That way you can make the design even more consistent with what you want for the wings. Like these are not exactly perfect. Matter of fact, I'd probably add some more to that side, to that wing. I'll consider that since it's still in the flame at the moment. Okay, heat these up slightly and press them down. This might work, so it leans a little bit more forward. We'll see. It might not. It might. If it doesn't, we'll fix the legs right in a minute. Now the tail. You still have the unicorn with the wings you made last time? Yes. I was going to pull that out of the oven very quickly here. So give me be a little patient, and I'll get right to that unicorn. Okay? Okay. There we go. Cloud is cooperating. There seems to be a cloud in front of the sun right now, so thank you. Okay. Now the other wing, I wanted to add a little bit more to that back wing. Warm them all up again. Here we go. Just a little bit more to this side. Symmetry is a good thing to have in most of your wings and dragons or anything that you do. It can have some imperfections so that it's not exactly, but symmetry is a good thing to have. You know, you put two ears on it, rounded about the same way. Well, let's see how this sucker stands. Tap him off. Oh, I broke off his whole arm. Oh, man. No, he's not going to sit right. So we'll let that cool, and I'll get back to him. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and open up the oven, and I will show you some of the things that I did yesterday. So I'll have to go off view for just a second here. Open up the oven. And I'm going to put it right here. And I'll go through each piece. Oh, there's a lot in here too. Like I said, this is like about 3 or 4 days accumulation of stuff that I've done. Lots and lots of stuff. Holy, yeah. This is going to be a whole 10 to 15 minutes in the process as well. I'd hate to be putting my arm in here if this oven was on. Be like, yeah! Lots of stuff. Like I said, plenty. This is, like I say, about almost 2 or 3, maybe even, no, last week when since the first day I've been working in the new shed. Last night was the first time I turned on the oven and actually melted some glass in here. Not melted, but I mean fumed some, not fumed, did some annealing of the glass that I had done. Most of the stuff I do works out real well in, you could say, bench cooling, but as long as it gets annealed, which is the good thing. Oh yeah, we got some stuff to show off now. Okay, we're going to put this to the side. Yes, that's still warm. We've got a dichro heart for Mother's Day. This one I did, somebody asked for a giraffe about 3 or 4 days ago. And I'll put these to the side because I can now put them. Now this is another one that I did yesterday. I did a hummingbird that goes like this with it sticking, and the petals are fumed with silver. As you can see, the nice silver gold shine going on. I haven't figured out why silver turns gold and gold turns pink and or purple depending upon how much oxygen you feed into it. But that's the way life is on that one. If you have any questions about anything, talk to me. This is my snail that I did a couple of days ago. Really, really nice. And here is, oh, this one isn't the one that you asked for. It might be, I don't know. This is a unicorn with wings. But this one, I don't know if we can see it or not. And maybe not. But it has Illuminati in the wings and tail, which is pretty cool. Yeah, this camera does not. There, you can see it in that wing and the tail. When you gonna do another live stream? I will try to do another live stream tomorrow as well. I'm just getting a kick out of doing this the last couple of days. Here's a sea turtle that I did, and it's a pendant piece looped, and I did the fins a little bit different, like he's in the middle of the swimming, swimming away deal, which is pretty cool. And this one is a sea turtle that I did, and this one is hollow. It has a hole here and a hole here, and it is a bead that will lay down on a necklace piece like so, which is a pretty cool deal. Yes, I am going to start doing these live feeds all the time if I can. Here's one I did. The Mormon missionaries came by last Wednesday, and they actually, this is a thing called the CTR ring. Well, they have a CTR ring, but I made it into a pendant. And actually, I did that one, and one of the missionaries, they got a chance to sit down and melt, and this is what they came up with, which is not bad for not knowing what you're doing. And I told them it's better to put it through the oven. And so that's those two. And again, for him to have come up and done that, that was pretty cool. He's had a couple of lessons with me so far. And here's another one. My daughter Amber yesterday requested a snake. And sure enough, that's what I did, a snake. And I did a goldfish and fumed it with silver to give it that goldfish look. This is a simple fish that I've been doing forever. You make the basic disc and just put some fins on it, and then a mouth. And of course the eyes. But simple. Okay. Let's see here. Here's another dichro heart. Again, Mother's Day is coming up, guys. This is what I did last night on Twitch, which is a tiki head, and it is also a bead. The hollow. There's a hole here, and a hole here on his on his head so that you can wear it as a pendant piece, which is pretty neat. Did this rooster. Looking good if you ask me. Oh no! I did a koala bear and it looks like his eye came off. I'll have to make sure I can put another eye on him. And that koala bear will have to go back to the oven. This is my joke for dealing with koala bears. What would Elmer Fudd hunt down in Australia? Koala bears. Ha ha ha. I like the tiki head. Pretty sick. Thank you, Xenon. And frog that I did yesterday. And I believe that the colors came out a lot deeper and stronger since I've put it through the oven, so some of the colors must have struck into it. It makes it more of a brown color than the green, but it might also be the light that I'm looking at it under. So pretty darn cool. Did a couple of these in the last couple of days as well. You can call it a parrot, you can call it an eagle. As long as you pay me, I'll let you call it anything. It's supposed to be an eagle. I got a little batty a couple of times as well. Ha 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 ha. Glad I didn't hear that. Squeak up. I did another one of these guys too. This one's cool. This one's all blue. Same idea. Not all blue. Well, it was blue exotic, and I did blue trim on the ears and the I think it turned out pretty cool. And again, the hole going through the head. So it's a one-of-a-kind piece as well. I'll do some of those with some Illuminati in them. Simple elephant. Did another hummingbird with flower. That's right here. All right, Graceful. Ah, I dropped it and look at there. It stayed in one piece. Again, these are a two-piece thing, and you could make them into one, but I do it where you set it down and just tilt the beak in there like so, and it does really, really well. Okay, next we're getting down to I wouldn't say the nitty-gritty. This one is also a hollow dolphin bead where the hole is here and the hole is here, and it hangs quite interestingly. Just a matter of threading it through. Lou's Zoo, yes it is. That's exactly what's going on here. Animal after animal. These are a lot of requests that people ask me to do. Oh, that one should have made it into the oven a little bit sooner. That one stressed out and cracked, so I will fix that guy. That was an elephant. And then we have our little fairy lady. She has sparkly glittery, I think, in the wings. Can't really see it in this light. And I use the same color as I did with the dragon to make the body. And my mermaid, same idea. Whoa, not to drop her. Don't need to drop her. Mermaids are my second favorite out of all that I do. Another bat. This one's silver fumed. And I have a loop on the top of his head so he, can hang somewhere. That would look cool on a person's... Here is another one of these turtle beads. I think I can do this, and I'm probably going to complain about it later, but this is what's going on. It's hollow. and you put the cord through. Like, of course the cord's not going to go through that way, right? Right. Come on, get in there. What's the matter with you? There it goes. Now it's to get it to feed all the way through, which it's not going to. Ah, I really want to show you this. Let's see if I can get it through the hard way. Without killing it, of course. Trying to kill it with kindness, right? You would have to fish it through. Oh, actually it did. It fished through quite nicely. Look at there. Look at there. Look at there. And that's how it would sit on the pendant piece. I would buy the unicorn. Sounds like a plan, Zenon. All you have to do is ask, and ye shall receive, I guess. There was another unicorn. Where is that? I did it yesterday. Oh, and here's a elephant. Same deal. Hole in there in the top of his head, and another hole in the back of his rear end. That's almost got me stumped, but it's not a terrible thing. Maybe it's still in the oven and I didn't see it yet. Hold it. That's a no. Interesting. Did I put Illuminati on that one that I did yesterday? When you were watching, did I put Illuminati on that one? Maybe I just did one and thought I'd done two. I'm getting to that old age where you need to be shot and put out of your misery, I guess. Now, I think we're down to a few small pieces that I've got left, which are a rose that I did. Did that one yesterday as well. This is the tight bud type rose. We'll have to watch some of the... Also, this might have been something I did in Twitch as well. So it's one of those things, I'm not sure if I did it in this or in Twitch. But then we have little penguin. Simple but effective penguin. And let's see, a teddy bear. Simple but effective. This is a cat laying on its back playing with its tail. These are all videos that I've done in the last couple of days anyway, the last week at least. So, and then we got a unicorn head, like so. Not sure if this one's got it on it either. No, it doesn't. But just a different color aspect on the horn. And that makes good pendants pieces. I don't remember you saying you used Illuminati, but it looks like the one you made for me. Yeah, it might be. I can't seem to, well, one of those days. It might have had Illuminati in the end of it. I just don't remember. My mind is going. Ah! Well, I'm in my late 50s, so shoot me and put me on it. No, don't do that. I want to fight for my last breath. I really do. And there is a squirrel. Where? Squirrel? That's my quote from Up. Squirrel, where? Okay. I think that about covers all of them. Now, to a jellyfish. This is going to be complicated. Or I guess I could do the, what was the other thing? I've got to go back up here a little bit to find out. A dog. Well, let's do the jellyfish. I don't. I like. I can do dogs, but I haven't got any. Yeah. Let's do this. Dog it is. Jellyfish it is. Now the part about the jellyfish is this is going to take about a good 15-20 minutes, and that's just for the prep work to get this job done. Okay, but it's well worth it in the long run. Matter of fact, let's see if I've got some of the glass already ready sort of to go for this jellyfish. Here we go. This will work it, I believe. Let's check this out. Check this out. Oh yeah. I don't know if you can see that or not. Uh, anyway, this will be the what I've done is encase this rod, and I will basically show you what I do to encase, but I'm going to use this because it's got Illuminati around it already. But let me show you the step to encasing first. First, you get a color rod that you want to use for your tentacles, for your jellyfish. Okay? Got that hint, right? Right. Then you encase it in clear. And I mean encase it in clear a lot. You layer a lot of, excuse me, a lot of clear over this because it's going to be layered in a lot, to say the least, a lot. Okay. I'm only going to do just a very short bit of this. Oh, here we go, right down here near the edge. Nope. On. Going off screen for a second. Ouch. I don't have to do it. Okay. This Illuminati is you know, just what I'm going to do to it, but you don't have to. And I'm only going to make it about a half an inch long. But what I'm going to end up doing with it, it's going to be a lot longer and a lot thinner. But it'll make great tentacles for your jellyfish. Got me? Got me. Okay. Here we go. Now this got Illuminati on it at first. And it's got a yellow clear, a yellow solid color in the middle. Oh, this is going to get a little warm on my fingers, so I better put it on the end of a puente. Got it? Get it? Good. Keep layering. Oops. That's a double layer, but that's okay. That's the one thing about Illuminati, it does tend to boil if you get it over too hot, so you really got to be careful with it. Okay. Now I've layered it in Illuminati at first. This is encasing, and you can encase a whole bunch of this, and this is a way to also make some great mushroom, same idea as your mushroom stems and stuff like that. I'll look up my mushroom URL. Actually, I'll put it down below about the mushroom and also a jellyfish that I've done before. Same idea. In case I've missed something while I'm talking about it here, you can catch it on the rerun. Got 6 people watching. Thank you guys. I do appreciate you being out there. Now I'm going to layer this in clear, and I'm going to layer it in clear. I'm going to stretch it and then layer it in clear some more. This is basically just one of the tentacles, but I'm going to be clipping them off and making a whole bunch of tentacles off of this one little half-inch chunk that I'm doing, or close to an inch, isn't it? Yeah, close to an inch. As you can see, every time I stretch it, it's going to be a little bit longer. So like that fish story, you know, hey, this fish I caught, it was a whole 2 feet long. And by the time the end of the day is over, yeah, this fish I caught was about 15 feet long. You know how that goes. That's my theory on also the dragons in, I bet you when they went to Great Britain a long time ago, when they first moved over there on the island of Great Britain, there was probably some remnants of dinosaurs left, you know, like little lizards or little something. And then these guys think they get tough and turn around and kill it. And, yeah, I killed this thing. It was 7 feet long. And by the time the story finishes off, it's, you know, 150 feet long and burning down houses and eating cows whole. You know what? That's just my theory on that. Now I'm going to layer it again and again and stretch it each time. And the fun thing is that every time you layer it, you got to make sure you get all the way around because you got clear all the way. So sticking a nub out longer than the rest of them, I don't know if you can see that little nub, so that you know that you're working your way around and you finally got back to this place that you started on the encasing, as it were. But I'm going to continue doing this at least one more time, if not two. And then you'll see what's going on here. But it's all worth the while. This is all in prep work. This is all the stuff that you got to do to make things look good in the long run. Sometimes. Okay? Okay. I think I got, no, almost all the way around. A couple more. And I'll stretch it one more time and then layer it one more time. And as you can see, that little thin rod that was in the middle of that thing now looks really, really thick, and that's due to the magnification of all the glass around it. But it's still pretty thin and stretching out even thinner every time that I do this. And this is what you got to do to encase things. Practice, 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 and more practice. And each time you do it, the encasement gets a little thinner. The little rod inside is just a little bit thinner. Like right now, this is still looking like it's thick and big and mean, and I've already stretched it down twice at this point. I'm going to do this just one more time, and then we'll make the tentacles out of it. And this will be like, oh, why didn't I think of that? You know, one of those moments. Once you've seen it done, it becomes obvious. It really does. These are all the tentacles all in one little stem at the moment. Now at this point, this is getting a little bit longer than I want it to be. So I'm going to pull it off right about here. Again, that ½ inch or close to an inch mark. And continue encasing this, and I'll get back to this and use it maybe for mushrooms or something. Glowing in the dark mushrooms. There you go. Right. Here we go. Put that on there. Well, actually, let's hold it on that and layer it at least one more time. Nope. Never mind. It doesn't matter. Good to see I've got 7 people watching. Thank you for being there, guys. I do appreciate it. Again, right now I'm working on a jellyfish, and I'm encasing the tentacles. And you'll just have to watch the video from beginning to end if you didn't catch it from beginning to end, but that's okay. That's what this is all about. That's what YouTube's all about. It said, what was that? Let me see that again. Oh, there we go. Just keep going all the way around. Layer after layer. And you could do this probably about 1 or 2 more times if you really wanted the very, very thin tentacle deals. But for time's sake and stuff, I'm going to thin this out and call this a jellyfish. You'll see what I'm talking about very, very shortly, because now I'm going to do one more crazy thing. Actually, 2 more, but that's okay. Stretching it out, getting it there. Pulling it out. Okay. Okay. Now this is where it's going to get a little interesting. Well, not really interesting. Stepping on my own headphones here. Cords a little bit more. We're going to layer it. Encase this now. And inside this again has the all the little strings that I have, or the strand that I have in the middle, and basically it's spacing itself out because it's encased well. Okay. And that'll about do her all the way around. With me so far? I'll let that cool a little bit so you can see what I've done so far. And this is the undercarriage to my jellyfish. The yellow gets lost in the translation here, but it's still there. Once it cools, it will show up even more so. Okay? Just take my word for it. It's there. And plus with the Illuminati won't show up at the moment either because it is hot. And when Illuminati is hot, it does not glow under black light. So when this is all said and done, which I'll open up the kiln tomorrow. Speaking of which, I probably should go ahead and start that thing. I'm going to layer a little bit more clear over this, just a little, just one layer, one quick layer. And again, this is encasing, and this makes the whole thing work in the long run. Doesn't look like much yet, but this is going to be a jellyfish. There we go. All the way around. And now we got to do the cap to the jellyfish. Let's see if I can come up with, oh, here we go. Nothing but Illuminati. And I'll trim it out and do some spots with different colors on it. Layer it in. There we go. Let it roll around a little bit. And it's looking good so far. And I'll point it up just slightly again, because it will still round down as the time goes on. Now here's another neat point. Why didn't I think of that, Eric? Like I said, it's one of those things, once you see it, it's like, oh, duh! Okay, now the most interesting part of this is you do not, you see the bottom part and it goes sort of like a little dimple right down to about right here, but you're going to try to do it just to the edge, a little bit above the edge of where you stop the Illuminati. And there's a reason for that, and I'll explain it as we go here. Glass has a tendency to find its own level, okay? And in finding its own level, it you can have like a big round blob at one end and a big round blob at the other end, and then you can bring those two together and you can make one big round blob instead of two big round blobs. Okay? I think I pointed that top a little bit more than I wanted to, but it'll still be okay. There we go. Now the idea is to go ahead and round this all in, and you'll see the edge of where the top of the mushroom comes out, and this is going to sort of bloom out the edge of the mushroom. I meant jellyfish. This will bloom out the edge of the jellyfish practically to the rim or around the edge of the whole pendant piece that you're doing of the jellyfish. I think I've done the top basically the way I want it. I will, before I put the, well, no, I should put this in the oven now. Matter of fact, I need to turn on the oven. Stupid me. Okay. It's a running. You can do mushrooms the same way. Instead of doing just the several stems or whatever, you do just the one stem in the middle, and this will give you a bloom shroom. And I'll put the URL to the bloom shroom under here as well. I'm going to go ahead and put the bail on the top here, and then we're going to work on the bottom half of this baby. And it's going to be a nice little round jellyfish. And I'm also going to try to swirl the, do a little bit of wigwag going on in the tentacles as I go down. Should work. Has worked in the past. Might not work this time though. Just the way life is sometimes. No matter what you do, life throws you a curve. Sometimes they're good curves, sometimes they're bad ones. It's how you look at it. Ever since I've seen that commercial where, it talks about how, do you laugh when you sit on somebody, that or step on that piece of chewing gum or slip on that thing and realize, I realize, you know what, you could cry about the way life treats you, or say, okay, you did it, now let's go on, okay? So. Now we're going to basically work this whole thing I'm going to do a twist to one side and then a twist to the other. And again, it looks like because the Illuminati, you will not be able to really see what this stuff looks like until later. There we go. I think I swerved it. Gave it a little bit of a wigwag, not a lot. Now I'm going to bring out the outside edge of that and just round this whole thing in. I don't know if you could see that in there or not. The swirl wigwag pattern going on, and also now I'm going to just round this into one big ball. So like a little pendant with a jellyfish in it. sometimes helps to have a marble mold handy. To make things more rounded. But if you got patience, you can do it without being rounded, but that's going to be okay too. Use what you got. If you can't be with the ones you love the ones you're with. That's a good quote, I guess you could say. Maybe I'll make it more oblong, because it is a jellyfish. There we go. Smooth it out, and we're going to call that quits. I wish you guys could see this, and again, it's not going to show up until I take a picture of it tomorrow. Maybe you can, I don't know. See the swirl patterns going on in there, and also the top of the jellyfish. I don't know if you can see it, but I can. So, meh. Take my word for it, it's there. Tap that off. Fire polish. Any other requests that somebody would like to see me do? Ask and I'll see what I can do about making it. Sound good? Sound good to me. We'll do that. Put that right in the oven for now. One down. Actually, I've got to work on this dragon here just a little bit. His back claws, now I can hold on to him. And I also broke off his, I broke off his front paw here when I tapped off his cold weld here. So we'll get to it. What did I do? Did I stop streaming? I hope I didn't. No. Let's go back. Where am I at? I'm still there. I hope I'm still there. I hope I didn't stop streaming. Tell me if I'm still there, guys.
My name's Aaron Rogers, and I graduated.
For some dumb reason, I had to come up with this.
Before I came to AIM, I was in the military. I worked on Black Hawks.
Tell me if I'm still there, guys. Where am I at? If you don't mind, I'd love to hear from you. I got kicked out of the room or something. I don't know what's going on. Still live. Thank you. I appreciate that, Zenon. It's one of those things that I got clicked to another page for some dumb reason, and I wasn't even over there. I don't know. It said stop streaming, and I said, no, I don't want to stop streaming yet. Do the claws back on this front foot and adjust the back feet, and this dragon will be done, and I'll put him in the oven. Another bun in the oven, isn't that nice? Again, if you have a request, cats, mice, swans, bears, whales, snails, unicorns, dolphins. I do appreciate you telling me so. It does make me feel like, hey, I'm not totally screwed up. I can, though. I know I can. I've done it. I've been there. It's like, come on. You're lucky that I figured out enough that I can put the two screens, with me up in the top corner and you seeing the torch down in the bottom corner. It was one of those surprises that it took me about an hour and a half to figure it out. And I said, that's it. I'm not touching it. It's done. And there we go. We got that dragon going on. We'll let that go in the oven. Matter of fact, I'll go drop him in right now. Oh, you know what? I forgot to bring out here something to drink. Can you do the whale with the man inside it? Ah, you would. Yes, I can. Why? Because I can. It's not going to be very big, but I'll do it because you asked. And for a small nominal fee, you can own it as well. Saw that one on Instagram. Yes. Um, let's go ahead and first I got to get the hollow tubing. Hollow tubing. There we go. Man. And for a small nominal fee, you can own it as well. Saw that one on Instagram. Yes. I wasn't even touching it. Let's go ahead and first I got to get the hollow tubing. Hollow tubing. There we go. There. I think I got it now. For some reason I was getting feedback from my live feed. At least I didn't have hot glass in my hand when I got that itch, but that's okay. Let me see. I want to get this piece of tubing. That's it. This is the one that'll make a great whale. I guess I should make the man first. Should I do a blue man or an Illuminati man? No, let's do a blue man. Did Illuminati just a second ago. And then not make, well, they have some, but it's still hard to get a hold of. So I'm going to play gentle with it until I can get some more. Unless somebody wants to ship me some for a small nominal fee. Yeah, there you go. Wow, you have a large workbench. Yes. Matter of fact, I've always had this bench, believe it or not. I just had most of it cluttered up before. But at the moment, it's got. I've always and I'm going to try, and I've made a commitment to myself to try and make sure that I keep that I keep my bench cleaner. Okay, I am a clutter freak. That's my first problem as being a glass blower. That everybody looks at my bench and goes, "Ugh, how can he work? How can I work?" It's just my way of organizing that I can just reach at something at a glance and find it without any problem. It may be cluttered. 9 times out of 10 I can reach for something. There are times that it's here, but it's just a little bit lower and deeper than I thought it was. Okay. Let's go ahead and connect these two tubes together. That's so I can blow into it from a distance with the blow hose and swivel. Okay? Okay. There we go. Oops. Even after you take it out of the oven or out of the flame, you got to make sure you keep turning it so it stays center. See, that didn't happen here. I set it down and it got a little wobbly over here, but we'll take care of that. We'll take it off right about there anyway. I'll turn that into something hollow later on. Maybe even a number 10 male joint here after a while, but not right now. Now, before I get into doing any more with this, I'm going to go ahead and do the man ahead of time. I could have left that there. Right. Set this down for right now. And then we'll make a blue man. Man blue. Little tiny one. Don't need to be very big. Sometimes I do, Dr. Vincent, but I have one of the things, and I'll show you that right here, right now. The way I eliminate a lot of the glass splinters that are on my table is what I call the DQ swirl, and I'll show you that. And instead of you pull off these little thin strand or this, I'm trying to show you, and it's not going to work at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and I got to make a stringer for the man anyway. Let me go ahead and start this stringer. Okay. And then you start pulling it. It gets really, really thin like that. That's those little splinters that you find all over the place. But to eliminate that, you can do one thing like this where you just do that. But when I'm bringing the two of them off from each other, I do what I call the DQ swirl, just a little bit off to the side of the flame. And instead of making that long, thin strand like that, you sort of do that and it pulls it off right like that. And I'll do that again real quick. But that DQ swirl, once you practice that, you will eliminate a good 80 to 90% of those glass splinters that are all over your table. That DQ swirl is, when I started doing that, it's like one of those aha moments. Again, you just sort of swirl it around just outside or inside the flame, and it becomes two balls instead of all those glass splinters around there. Okay? Now, pull that off there. Oops. Now let's make the blue man. He's just going to be a stick figure, but he's going to be a blue man. One arm. There's the other. Neck and head. Yeah, it didn't happen overnight. I got good at this doing fast or working like this only after time, okay? But it's already knowing, just like you would sit down and write your name. You think to yourself you're gonna make the word cat, and you bring out the letter C-A-T, and you'll do the same thing over and over and over to make that C-A-T come out. And those letters are your alphabet of letters, but I have what I call an alphabet of shapes. And just like you can take those letters and changing it and now make it H-A-T, and it becomes a totally different image or word in your head. The same thing with this, by just changing, adding a few bumpy bits and making it a little bit curvier, you got a lady instead of a man. Same subtle difference in the arms and legs, but you just change them just slightly in another direction and you got something totally different. I'm going to make one more man here. Well, actually, we're going to shrink him down a little bit, just a little. He doesn't need to be that tall. 4 answers to who's inside the whale. Any guesses? If you've already heard the story, go ahead and you can answer at least one or two of them. Of course, there's Jonah if you're biblical, Geppetto if you're literal, Surfer and the Whale Dude if you're from California, but if you're a redneck, it's Noah. You don't know how many times people have come up to my table and said, "Oh, look, honey, it's Noah." And you're going, "Uh-huh." You buy it, it's Noah. There we go. I think I shrunk him down enough. He'll have a little longer arms than normal, but it'll do the job. Cool breeze coming through the back room. And there's him ready to go in the whale. Now let's make the whale. And it's basic shape of a whale. It's not going to be a really elaborate piece. It's probably going to be about double, maybe triple the size of the tubing that I'm starting out with. And again, that's just practice at how to flow the glass to make it work. Let's get this going here, kids. Now when you're blowing into it, you're not trying to do a bubblegum bubble. You're just trying to make better pressure than what's on the outside of it. You're trying to get it a little bit bigger. You're not trying to blow it all at once. Okay? That's just the way you do it, little bit by little bit. A little bit bigger. Actually, I got a little bit more to go. We're good. Gentle, gentle blow. Gentle, gentle puff. Almost looks like it's doing it on its own, but I'm helping it, believe me. A little bit more on the back here. Not a lot. All general personal preference, I guess. How big you make it. Okay, we got the basic shape of the body for the whale. Add a little bit of few things here. I'm going to flatten the bottom where, you know, the man's going to be standing. Now you've made the basic where you're going to put the body or the bottom of the whale. And now we're going to go ahead and blow it out here. So that we can stick the man inside. It's yeah, right. Nothing the size I want when I want it. I guess I'll just have to use the end of this guy. It's thick enough and do the job quite nicely. I don't want to do that with my fingers. Let's see if I can do that like so. There we go. See if he's big enough. Oh yeah. Now you attach him to the bottom. Attach him to the bottom like so. Once he's attached, hopefully your cold seal will come off. Ah! I got that a little bit bigger and better than I wanted it to. Do that again. Okay. It's one of those dual-edged sword things. You've got to do it just right. I got to try to stick it back exactly where it was before. And And yay! Now we'll seal him back up inside. Now, this is a trick to equalize him so he's not leaning one way or another. You heat him up, you turn him over. So gravity works for you. Now you just make the whale around him. We'll give him blue eyes for the whale. One's a little bit more forward than the other, but it's okay. Nothing terrible. Now we'll put the front fins and the back fins on it, and we're going to call this quits. And we've got to do this just right and mean and fast, without really disturbing the man in the middle. Not Malcolm in the middle, man in the middle. Basically, it's just an oversized dolphin is what I'm going to do here with the fins. It just says it was a big fish. It doesn't say what type of fish it was. Of course, to pedo it was a whale, but now I have available to me, and I am going to start using them more often, but I have done it where I've done a cold weld up there at the tip of his nose. But since I have these guys, I'm going to use them. They run about 20 bucks and they're worth their weight. Now I can work on the back half of this guy without having to put another cold seal on there. And I'm going to need that. It just dropped off into the floor, and we'll get there. Mouthpiece. Now you'll find on mine, I'll leave a little hole. I'll leave a little hole in there. Just a little one. And that's to help equalize the pressure on the inside of this thing. So that if something ever happens to it and you have to go back into a piece, it helps to be able to get back into the piece a whole lot easier, believe me. Now I'm just going to put the back fins on this thing, just the simple fins. And that's going to go into the oven really, really quick. I will show it to you first. And after this guy, I think I'm going to call this live session over with. Yes, I do. Oh, somebody asked about that. Your eyes. Yes. Thank you for telling them that. I do have a lens on the. I am not burning my eyes out. Believe me. I believe in safety first. Uh, I just because I wear trifocals. Thanks for answering that question for me, doctor. I wear trifocals, and sometimes with the trifocals and the glasses and so on, it starts slipping. So just to put the lens in front of me like this on the heat shield, it does do a deal. And I will show you that here in just a second after I finish this puppy, or I should say this whale of a time that I've had here. Ha ha ha, bad pun, but it does trick. There we go. Uh, you'll find I tend to have to adjust slightly, make it just about right. And we have, and it looks like he needs to tilt a little bit further back. Let's see if I can do this without killing him. Heat him up a little bit. That gravity worked for you. There you go. He's still leaning a little forward, but he's still all in there and doing good. That's Jonah inside the well. Oh, and he still needs a little bit more weight distribution going on. Let me see here. Curve it up some more. Actually, curve it down some more. Right here. I might ruin this, but I'm pretty sure I got it. There we go. Practice, practice, and more practice. And I haven't done these in a while. Oh yeah, that's better. Much better. Okay, here, let me show you on my torch. I have a didymium lens right here that I am viewing through and watching, what I'm doing. I'm not trying to burn my eyes away, I tell you. I'm a female vet. Okay, that's cool. Hey. Yeah, my eyes. I when again I wear not contacts. I wear trifocals. I never really. I tried to do contacts a long, long time ago, but probably do it again now. But I had the problem where I had dry eye, and then now I realize one of the things to combat dry eye is fish oil. I may not like to eat fish, but I'll swallow fish oil, and it takes away that real gooky crud that you have in the morning out of the side of your eye, and where you have to get to blinking a few times to wake up. But with the fish oil, it diminishes that a lot. Oh, let me put that in the oven. And there is that one. Done, done, and done. Sounds like a lawyer firm, right? Can you make a fish in a bowl like Pink Floyd's song? I'd have to work on that one there, Ben Stone. I'll have to work on that one. Let me look at the pictures first, and I'll see what I can do about bringing it up in an episode coming up. I can't do it today. Like I said, I've been at it for a little while today, and I'm going to try to make these about an hour long. I don't want to get them too long or too short, but this gives you an idea of some of the stuff that I've been doing, and I appreciate you guys being out there. And as always, all you have to do is put a comment down below, click like, click subscribe, um, uh, ask a question, and I usually try to get to them. And if I can't do it, I tell you outright. That Pink Floyd thing, I say that right now. I have to look at it before I say yes or no. So that's the way I am with most of the things I try to do. And again, I thank you for being there, guys. And Carpe Vitro. And enjoy your day.